the FBI raided Pooh Shiesty's dad's home in Memphis. They found weapons, they say, in the home. And his dad is also a convicted felon, not supposed to be around weapons. So they took his dad in. They, of course, when they got Pooh Shiesty from home confinement, they took him in. They got Bit 30, locked him up. His mug shot is circulating right now across the internet. And then they also got the other guys. I think they say one of them is on the run, but they got majority of the other guys too. And when you really look at this, Pooh Shiesty already was on home confinement for felony charges.
Yeah.
This not looking good.
Nah, I don't.
This is not looking good. And here's the part about it. Some people are focusing on, because they say Gucci Mane's name is appeared in the paperwork that he told what happened. And he told that Pooh Shiesty them had something to do with it to law enforcement. So people are focusing on Gucci Mane snitching over the whole incident.
Yeah.
Now, here's the reality of my opinion on that real quick. The Gucci Mane you all see today is not the Gucci Mane from back in the day.
That's fair.
Right. And I'm going to say this. Bri knows, of course, you know, we was in entertainment business. I met Gucci around at least 3 times here in the city, right? One of the times we had a long conversation in Club Libra because Gucci actually did a song with Ra years ago. And we was having a conversation about that because I heard the song. Ra never released the song, by the way. Yeah. So I've met Gucci a few times. I booked Waka Flocka for a couple of shows back in the day. You know what I mean? So I'm familiar with the whole 1017 movement and things of that nature. But the Gucci you all see today is not the Gucci from years ago since he got released from prison this last time. He's a different man. He's a family man now. You know, every time you see Gucci in pictures, he's smiling now, right? You didn't see that with Gucci back in the day, right?
You did.
You know what I'm saying? Gucci smiling all the time. You know, you see him with his wife all the time. You see him with his kids. Gucci's a family man. He's a legitimate businessman now. He's running a label. He's doing business with big distribution companies to help his artists get on. He ain't a street dude no more. You see what I'm saying? I honestly say Gucci would consider himself probably a law-abiding citizen, a civilian now.
That's fair.
Let's be quite frank with you.
That's fair.
And what they don't realize is Gucci potentially maybe had to talk to law enforcement. It's a couple of reasons. For one, the bodyguard was an off-duty cop. Right, so he already going to the police anyway, because that's his job, right? The second thing, as well, is Gucci probably want to get his stuff back, and they say a lot of times when it comes to insurance claims, you got to file a report. That's another thing. Another thing, Gucci, I'm pretty sure he's playing chess, not checkers. You literally had me forced to release you out an agreement under duress. Right? So he has the report to the authorities that it was forced under duress, even if it's in civil court. Because guess what's going to happen now? Pooh Shiesty's still going to be signed to 1017, even if he has to do time. And all that money that's being made, guess who it's going to be going to? Straight to Gucci in 1017. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But he can't do that if he don't identify what happened or whatever the case may be. So, you know, I'll leave it up to you street guys if y'all want to call him a rat or not. That's not me. I don't consider myself a street guy today. You know, I consider myself a civilian today at the age that I'm at, right? I'll leave it up to you street guys if y'all want to call him a rat or not. But that's the situation that happened. Yeah. Bri, what are your thoughts on everything you just heard? I know that's a lot to unpack, right? But what are some of your thoughts on this, man? Because Pooh Shiesty, this is real serious, man. You know, you could face a lot of time. You was already on federal charges, and now you locked back up for kidnapping and armed robbery. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you could face some serious time behind that, man, and also the others that was involved. You know what I mean? So what do you think there, man?
So I say with a lot of the artists today, especially depending on where you're from.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because you make a lot of money don't mean your mind state change. Mm-hmm. Don't mean you still don't do dumb shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the money don't change here. Mm-hmm. You feel me? It just make this shit. If you do dumb shit and you get money, you finna do more dumb shit. Yeah. You know, a lot of people. Right. If you don't have the right guidance. Yeah. Now
I think the guidance part is real. The guidance part.
So to me, I see a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-olds that come into millions with no guidance. You have nobody who's made millions before you to say, hey, chill out.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And when you're the only one 18, 19, and making big money with nobody to tell you, to guide you how to move with money,
right,
you gonna up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you only got yourself and people that you feeding.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So the people that you feeding, they don't want to say shit to piss you off, because you ain't gonna feed them no more.
There you go.
So all the dumb shit you come up with.
Exactly.
Yeah, let's go. You want me to come to Texas?
Yeah.
How many? Yeah, we'll come to Texas. We'll come out there. Yeah.
But at the same time, Bri, they kind of messing up a situation too, though, because Pusheisty was the biggest moneymaker. And now if he got to go sit down, everybody's suffering. I heard he had just bought his mom $1 million house or something. So now everybody got to suffer on the behalf of those actions.
Nobody who, all I can assume is nobody who Pusheisty respect told him to not do that. You feel me?
Yeah.
It takes somebody that you respect to change your mind.
Right.
You ain't gonna just listen just because if you ain't doing something similar to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
If I don't respect you, you can say whatever you want to say.
Right.
I'm finna do this.
Yeah.
So to me in that situation, given his dad. Now I don't know him and his dad's situation. I don't know the dad.
Yeah.
But dad should have been able to be like, listen, you feel me?
Exactly.
This business.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You his manager too. And you his dad. So, you his manager and his dad. You know what I mean?
Earlier, like if you been the manager, you was the manager when I signed Shiesty.
Exactly.
So you knew what this deal was.
Right.
So you put your son in this deal.
Exactly.
Now you telling your son to do some dumb shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Now I can't even say that the dad said do it.
Right. Yeah, we can't really say that.
I can't say that, but
because he might have been shocked because they say he was shaking his head, but he didn't stop it though.
You participate.
Exactly.
And that's so at that same state, just because you old don't mean you wise. You feel me? He could have been on his. Obviously, his thinking is the same as his son because he thought it was a good idea.
It seemed like it.
Brought the bag.
Yeah.
Some 8 niggas.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You obviously thought this was a good idea to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you done seen it in a movie. This shit don't work.
Yeah, this ain't no movies. Life. Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think you meant to do this ain't gonna go out how you think it's gonna go.
Right.
You can't sign a contract under distress.
Exactly.
If you drunk, if you high,
right.
If you underage,
exactly.
Any contract you sign is gonna be void.
Yep.
If it gotta go there.
Exactly.
So by putting a gun to me.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna sign. What the fuck you want me to sign?
Right.
Everything.
Exactly.
I'm about your business.
Yeah. Talking about your life. Yeah.
So in that situation, the contract in itself is void.
Right.
So to that, you at least should have had somebody smart enough to know that you can't make me sign a contract under a gun.
Exactly.
If this was the second option.
Right.
If I didn't agree, this is what you planned on doing. You know what I mean? Versus other legal options.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Could have got lawyered up and took it to court or whatever the case might be.
And the other part, I think you mentioned $10 million.
Right.
So I don't know what him and Gucci contract was, bro. You could have got that money, bought yourself out the contract.
Your contract. Exactly.
If he even know, yeah, he could have bought himself out the deal.
Right.
Plain and simple. If you would have just brought that to the table, look, not even on no street shit. Just all right, look, how much I owe you?
Right.
I owe you that much. I bet. Woo.
Exactly.
Woo.
Yep.
And we knock this out.
Yep.
And we good.
Yep.
But taking it down, unnecessary.
Exactly.
Unnecessary. And you on house arrest.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
right.
You can't. I guess you can't change stupid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was.
No matter how much.
This the worst situation I've ever seen right here in hip hop. You know, I've never seen nothing like this outside of they did say, of course, back in the day, Suge did that with Dr. Dre when it came to Eazy-E. But that was like back in the 90s, you know what I'm saying? That's a different type of situation. And we don't really know all the details, but they did claim that Suge pressed Eazy on releasing Dre from him over the Death Row back in the day and stuff like that. But we don't know all the details and stuff.
Allegedly.
Right, exactly.
So if we saying that, so that means Dad saw that and thought that was the best way to have it. Dad thought he was Suge Knight or some shit?
I guess so. I guess so, man. I guess so. Hello, this is G Bass, Rise of the 1%, Rise Media. We on this Saturday evening about to get ready to knock out some podcast episodes with some individuals here in the city of Atlanta making some big moves. You can see here, look, this is how it goes down. Here when our guests come and sit down with myself, G Bass, otherwise 1% of Rise Media, to have that conversation, to share the story, share the journey, share what you got going on. So listen, everybody got a story, everybody got a journey, and then you got some things going on, then you definitely can get with us and see him. It'll be a fit to be on the Rise 1% podcast and actually have that discussion with myself. It's going to be a link to a form for you to fill out. You said www.theriseofthe1%.com/pod-form. Again, www.theriseofthe1%.com/pod-form. It's going to be in this video. You can fill that out. And we can see if it'll be a fit for you to come on and have that conversation with myself. If you don't fill out the form, then obviously it's not for you, and that's fine. We're looking for those that's serious. Those that's serious about rising to the top 1% are already in the 1%. That's what we're looking to sit down with myself right here. As you can see, Rise Media, Rise to the 1%. This is how we get down. We have a great time and have a lot of fun doing it. So once again, if you're serious, make sure you fill out the form. We'll look over the form, see if it's a fit. If it's a fit, we'll reach out. If not, we won't reach out. We'll just continue to move forward. But with that said, this is G Bass. See you soon. Have a great one on